Hi guys, I hope everything is well with you. And today I'm here to talk a little bit about my course and the structure of it and why I've decided to do it this way. So I know that a lot of people want to become fluent, and it happens very often that you get to an intermediate level and you kind of feel stuck there. Happens to a lot of people. And a lot of students come to me in the same situation. So I kept thinking, what could I do that could, I wouldn't just say speed the process, because you can't really promise someone that, in a month, suddenly they are going to become fluent. It doesn't work like that. Of course, that to become fluent, you need to dedicate an amount of time to practice, to write, to listen. It's a combination of things, it's not just one. So I've started studying and I thought this method is just amazing. The natural approach. So as the name suggests, instead of, let's say, just study grammar, focus on studying grammar, we bring, as the name says, a more natural way to do it. So how do we do it? Well, we can role play, we can use stories, we can use different activities, and of course that you are going to study grammar too, but in a different way. So I find that using stories, it's a great way to help the student remember, because let's say you've learned a kind of rule. If every time that you are going to create a sentence, you have to think about the rule, how do I structure the sentence? Oh, okay, let me think about that rule and that rule. It takes longer, and of course that you don't feel as confident when you are speaking, but also the conversation, doesn't flow because you can't really speak so fast because you are thinking about the rules. So how do you overcome that? Of course, you're going to have to practice. There's not really any other way around it. But the way you practice can influence how fast or how slow you are going to progress. The natural approach is commonly used for beginners. So, for example, you just walked in the classroom, it's your first time there. Instead of translating words, so let's say we are learning objects today, instead of just maybe writing the name of the object and translating it, so the teacher will bring pictures or maybe the objects itself to the classroom, and we're going to look at the object and say the name of it. So not translating it, you are looking at the object and you are learning the English name for it instead of translating everything. So of course we are not talking about beginners here, we are talking about people that, well, if you are watching me and you can understand what I'm saying, even if maybe you don't know a word here or there, but you can understand me. So it means you are able to do the course because you'll be able to follow it. So I've prepared lots of different stories, and sometimes a piece of news, sometimes something different, but basically something that would be more dynamic instead of just sitting down and reading a text and answering questions about it. And of course I believe that doing this in a group so that you have other people to practice with, it's extremely important. I know you might be thinking, well, I just want to do private classes, I don't want to be a part of a group. But it helps, it really helps, because the more you practice, the more, you dedicate yourself to it. Instead of just twice a week for 2 hours, you practice English. No, you make it a part of your day. And again, you are going to study grammar. We all need to study grammar. It's part of the process. However, if you can associate the rules that you are learning with something, with a story, with something that helps you remember, everything becomes much easier. So a quick example that I can give to you is when you are creating a sentence and you are unsure about which word to use. Let's say you are unsure about in or on or at. It's unlikely that you are going to remember the specific rule at that moment in order to find out which word you should use. But the more you have practice, and I mean practice is everything, writing, listening, speaking, it's likely that one of the two words is going to feel more natural to you, instead of just thinking about the specific rule. So if you feel curious, you would like to know a little bit more about it, I invite you to participate in one of these classes so you can experience it and decide if it is something you would be interested